Hi everyone, I hope all of you guys are doing well. So today, after a long break of 2 to 3 months, now I'm back again online to be with you, teach you basics of UPSC, things that you can follow when you are preparing for UPSC, things that you don't have to follow when you're preparing for UPSC. I took the break of the last 2 to 3 months because I wanted to kind of refresh my mind, rethink about the UPSC preparation, because over the last few years obviously the paper has also been changing, and aspirants are facing new kind of problems. So I wanted to rethink all that, and of course I also have work, I have my personal life, so all of that I wanted to take a break, rethink, kind of reflect on the way you all should prepare for UPSC and come out with something that you all will learn from, and it will help you to be more efficient as well as more effective when you're preparing for UPSC, because I don't want you all to be spending too many years of your life in the UPSC preparation. I want all of you to be able to understand what are the demands of the UPSC exam, number one. I want all of you to understand, number two, why you want to appear for this exam. Number three, I want all of you to understand that there are a lot of different opportunities available in India. It's not easy. Joining civil services is definitely one of the most satisfying careers you can have. So I want to reflect on all these things when I'm talking with you, but at the same time it took time for me also to reflect on things, all these things over the last few months for myself, so that I can have more easy to comprehend and very clear thoughts that I can share with you instead of sharing anything. So that is one thing that I wanted to say to start off with. Second thing I want to say is that this particular channel for UPSC is meant to give you all advice which can be helpful to you. It is not going to be helpful for everyone. You always have to change a few things according to your own needs, and then utilize those basic strategies or basic things I'm telling you in order to make your UPSC preparation better. In fact, if someone is promising you that this particular way of reading, this particular way of doing things, of this particular books, or this particular strategy of studying for these particular many hours in a day will help you to actually qualify for this exam, that is absolutely not going to work out, because at the end of the day, every topper, every person who's getting a top rank have their own different ways of getting that. Some might be good at something, some might be good at some other subject, some might be good at learning things fast, some might be good at learning things for a longer period of time, some might be good at visual learning, some might be good at listening and then learning. So all these different things work for different people. Some of the times what happens is we might be good at one subject but we are not good at another subject. Then we have to figure out what the balance is. Sometimes we are not liking certain subjects at all, but they form a very big chunk of UPSC preparation, let's say polity. So then it is in such situations it becomes more difficult for aspirants to study. So through these videos that I now am going to post, I'm going to have longer videos so that I can actually have a proper discussion with you online when I'm talking to you. I wanted to make sure that you are listening to me, so that you are not only learning for the sake of UPSC, but you are learning for the sake of learning, and only then you will become someone who is better at solving the UPSC prelims papers and the mains papers, because of the kind of breadth of the knowledge you need to have for this exam. So it can become overwhelming because there are so many books, so many subjects. Sometimes all these questions comes which are very detailed and you don't know how to answer them, because if it's a journalist exam, then why are there these detailed questions? Now all this is something that will go into your mind over and over, but over a period of the next 2-3 months I will be solving these particular challenges that you have and talking about actual questions that have come in UPSC prelims, and discuss what kind of sources you could go to master those kind of topics, so that you are better prepared for UPSC. Anyways, so these are the different kind of things that I'm going to be talking about in the next few months. Every week I will be trying to post one video on the weekends, probably on a Saturday, so that you can all log in and we can have this nice chat of 30 minutes, sometimes 40 minutes, maybe sometimes short 15 minutes and sometimes long as 1.5 hours. I had last week or two back, I had asked on my community channel what kind of things you would like to learn from me during this course of time. I have received a lot of good suggestions. I will be implementing those suggestions, and I will be telling you the kind of things that I will be teaching you, because I have picked up a lot of things that a lot of aspirants are obviously confused about. So it is important to also know about that. Now today, these are the two things overview I wanted to give you. Obviously, now let us talk about something that a lot of students, a lot of aspirants face a challenge with when they're preparing for UPSC. And one of that major challenge is where to start your UPSC preparation from. It is almost one of the most mind-boggling things, because sometimes we start and then we are confused, then we start from somewhere else, and then we keep jumping and hopping here and there, and we waste a lot of time. So where to start your UPSC preparation from? If you're just starting now, or you have already started but now you're thinking about, because the mains are just over, the next prelims, or maybe you're thinking about preparing for the interview, so you're obviously thinking about the next year, or you're thinking about writing the prelims this coming year. So what are the kind of things that all of you should be thinking about when you're just starting again, or starting for the first time, even starting for the first time? See, one of the very basic things I always tell every aspirant, and this I have learned from my own experience and seeing a lot of all my friends, some of my friends, and also other friends who have cleared the UPSC exam, is that don't make the UPSC exam bigger than it is in your head. Don't make civil services number one bigger in your head than it is, because if you make it a bigger animal in your head कि ये कितनी बड़ी चीज़ हो जाएगी if I clear this, then it will become overwhelming for you. So that is one kind of an emotional management, your mental management that you need to do. Because if you are thinking about it in very big terms, if you are thinking it will change your life, if you are thinking that it will make you into some kind of a person who is untouchable, if you are thinking that it will give you so much power that you will be able to lord over everything, then I am sorry, this is the wrong place to come, and you are going to suffer if you are going to come with that mindset. Because civil services today is a lot about accountability, it is a lot about getting your job done. You have to be an efficient civil servant in order to actually enjoy and rise in civil services to good posts. If you're going to be someone who's going to live with an entitlement in the civil services, if you're going to come with the mindset that मेरा ज़िंदगी change हो जाएगी after coming into the civil service, then you are going to definitely be disappointed. So don't come with that mindset. Come with the mindset that it is a great career to have. I will join the services, be a good professional where I'm going to contribute in whatever field I'm working in. I will come and learn from the experiences that I get in civil services, because there are a lot of varied experiences you will get in civil services. You'll be working as SDM, you'll be working in the rural sector, the urban sector. So all these experiences are very important, because at the end of the day, civil services is a lot about human management, human perception management, expectation management. It is a lot about human resource management. It is a lot of management of the stakeholders that are involved in decision making process. You as a civil servant might not be taking all of the decisions, but you will be playing a very critical role as one of the major people who will be taking part of this decision making. Okay, so come in with fair expectations. When you start off with this mindset, now I'm coming back to the thing that I'm going to solve for you today, which is what kind of mindset you should have when you're coming into the civil services. Now, if you come with this kind of a mindset, you will be grounded, you will be well placed compared to your peers who have a different mindset, and you will be doing better in the civil services, and you will be doing better as a human being. Once you get older and older and older, you will realize you will be more dynamic when you think like that instead of thinking in an entitled way. So that is number one. Be humble, be hungry, be ambitious, but at the same time, do not let this thing get into your head that I am preparing for civil services, so it's a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's a very normal deal. A lot of people appear for it. A lot of people get into it and do well, and some don't do well. Some don't even do what is minimum expected out of them. And then a lot of people who don't get in actually do really well. So it's a mixed bag at the end of the day. Okay, so that is one thing I want you to keep in mind when you are starting off. Now, technically speaking, subjects how you should start off when you're preparing. Regardless of whether this is your first attempt, second attempt, third attempt, you should always start thinking about mains in your mind first, thinking about completely finishing off the main syllabus and then getting into the prelims preparation specifically. So when you are getting into UPSC preparation, if you are going right into the way you need to prepare for prelims, like you're just going into a lot of details and facts, it is going to hurt you. Don't prepare like that. Prepare by taking the main syllabus in front of you. Okay, the main syllabus has different papers. Paper 1, 2, 3, 4 is ethics. That I will have a different video on, and I can explore that entire thing differently. But 1, 2, 3 is the main subject, the subjects that you need to study when you are starting your preparation for UPSC. Now, if you look through the topics, try to first glance at the topics and understand what these topics are telling you. If you look at the UPSC syllabus, you will see that topics ranging from internal security to health, to development related questions like infrastructure, PPP, to poverty alleviation, to government schemes. Then from there you can even see questions on polity, a lot of questions on Indian governance and polity. These polity questions are focused on constitution, Supreme Court cases, various kind of judgments that come out from Supreme Court of India. Then also various kind of policy or polity matters or governance matters that are in the talk. For example, the devolution of power from the central to the states to the local bodies, 73rd and the 74th constitutional amendment, question that has at least appeared for 5-6 times more than that in the UPSC mains. So these kind of questions you will see any kind of related to banking, big things, big picture things. In GS1 you will see questions from history, geography, social sciences, which are very static portions. But the other portions I talked about are more dynamic in nature. Static means that are coming directly from the book, some kind of theory, some kind of historical fact, some kind of an event, some kind of a geography concept. And the ones that are dynamic means they are somehow related to the current affairs or something that always keeps happening in the country. So now always start your preparation from thinking and reading the main syllabus over and over and seeing what are the topics. And the topics I feel that you should start from, I feel, is either start from polity, GS2, or start from economics. See, if there is a question asked in your GS3 paper, which has some of the developmental questions about public-private partnerships, how will you answer that question unless you have read basic economics? It will be difficult for you to answer that question. So I always suggest, when you're looking at these topics, don't just study them right away. Now you have to have this hybrid approach where you are reading the syllabus of mains but preparing these topics from the books that I have recommended many times. I will recommend again on the channel soon, that can be referred for both prelims and mains. So for example, for polity there is Lakshmikant book, which is a very popular book which has come in the market. There is another TMH book that has recently come into the market, which I feel is a good book. I have still to read that book properly, but I have heard it's a book, it's a good book, and that one is, I'm just going to tell you because I came across it and I want to explore this book. It's a polity simplified book. This book is written by Mr. Rangarajan R, who is also an ex-IAS officer. Actually, he got a very good rank, 46th rank in the civil services exam, and he has written this book, Polity Simplified, which I feel like is a simpler version of Lakshmikant. So when you're reading Lakshmikant, you also need, see, if you're reading one book, it becomes very difficult to remember a lot of things. This is how I learn. Maybe this is true for you also. If I read only one book and I'm reading that, of course I'll become an expert in that book, but context will be missing. Context will be missing. A lot of times UPSC aspirants keep reading different concepts, but the context of that concept is missing. So उसकी वजह से आपका mains में जो answer होता है, that does not happen, that does not come out of the quality that you want it to come out for. So that context around the concept is also important. So for that, I always prefer to refer to multiple books so that you get a context of that concept, because in different books that will be discussed in a little different way. And when you relate it with the current affair, if something is going in the current affair, then the context becomes very obvious to you. So for example, let's say you are someone who is living in Delhi. Recently this very big tragedy happened in Delhi, in the old Rajendra Nagar. Many of you are aware about it, and of course there were lapses on the part of the local government also over there. So in that case, you have to relate it with the 73rd and the 74th constitutional amendment. What are the powers given to the local municipal bodies? Financial powers, functionary powers, these different powers are given to them. And how are they utilizing those powers? Are they capable of utilizing those powers? Are they actually able to implement effectively the mandate that is given to them? And what are the reasons they are not able to do that? If they are not able to, is it because of corruption? Is it because of some kind of political pressure? Is it because of capacity? Maybe they just don't have the right capacity to be able to know what are the dangers that are faced by citizens because of, let's say, a wire that is hanging. Obviously it is obvious in that case that a wire is hanging, so it needs to be fixed, but there is no capacity to monitor that. There is no system to monitor that and to put a check to that. For some reason the system is failing. Is it because of laziness of the people who are working there? Is it because of the fact that they are not monitored strictly? It is because of the fact that there is a lack of systems. So all these different kind of aspects are there. So you have to identify the aspects, and then only you will be able to correct that problem. That is what you do as an administrator. But is why there is lack of this administrative effort to fix those things? Is it because of political reasons? Is it because of economic reasons? What are the reasons behind it? So you have to first understand all this. So for the sake of UPSC, now I don't want to get into all this debate. For the sake of studying for UPSC, if you relate it like this, you will be able to retain it better, longer, and it will become very easy for you when you are answering, because you understand the context of these things. So that is why I always say, maybe I introduce you to this new book, maybe you can have the context. Similarly for history, when I was studying history, I used the NCERT Ancient History book, R.S. Sharma, very famous, everyone reads it. But at the same time, I also used Google search for kind of parallelly searching for things, topics I was studying here, so that I could relate. For that, I would look at the images or I would read some other text. So this kind of dynamic learning has to be part of your studies and your habit if you're going to excel in this exam. So when you're starting your UPSC preparation or you're appearing again, I would say have the mindset of studying for mains, and then relate it create context around the topics that you're studying, and start from economics or polity, because those are the most important topics, the GS3 topic or the GS2 topics. And it will also help you to cover GS2. See, polity and economics form almost 30% of the total syllabus. So if you are covering 30% of the syllabus in the first 2-3 months of your preparation, that is good. That is a very good start, because you can revise it more. There's more success you can get on those questions that are coming from there, because you've studied for a longer period of time. So that way also you have to think, when you're studying for an exam, it's not only about gathering knowledge and gaining knowledge, but it is also about application of knowledge in such a way that you are able to get the maximum bang for the buck, maximum output out of that. Okay, so this is what I wanted to discuss with you today. I think we've had a nice long chat. I wanted to give you a context. Next time I will not be giving you all this introduction, obviously, because I'm after long back I've come back. So I wanted to give you all this different things I talked about, but next time we will dive directly into the topic so that we can have more constructive and better conversations to understand things that we need to do for UPSC. Okay, take care, bye bye, and let me know any questions you have in the comments. I will be using that as a mechanism for feedback and understanding what things you need to know. All right, take care, bye bye.